are privately held and we are debt free. So when it comes to protecting your vacation investment with Travel Haus, that's one of the reasons they partner with us. They know that we have the resources to make sure you have a great trip because we've been doing this for 100 years. And also, you know all the world events that have happened in the past 100 years. So it says a lot for a company to not only be in business but thriving. We are privately held and debt free. So just know that your vacation investment is safe with us. So a little bit about the actual history of the company. Here's a video that I love to show that gives you guys just a little overall.
Began with a dream, a small dream of a man on his road to Lake Lagana. Antonio Montagazza had a vision of doing more than transporting goods across the lake. He dreamed of taking people across the globe. And in 1928, when he created Globus, Antonio exchanged his rowboat for motor coaches and initiated a ripple in travel that changed the world. By 1950, Globus expanded from Swiss day trips to Italian holidays. And with help from another entrepreneur, Werner Albeck, the company unveiled the world's first multi-country European touring vacations. In 1961, Globus created Cosmos for cost-conscious travelers, generating another ripple of change. And over the next few decades, Globus and Cosmos expanded to Africa, Australia, North America, and Asia. By 2004, the ripple from Antonio's rowboat led the company back to its roots, to make waves on the rivers of Europe with the launch of Avalon Waterways. In 2011, Avalon changed the tide of cruising again with the world's first sweet ship, then a fleet of sweet ships, all while elevating cruising. All the while, Globus continued to innovate touring, taking travelers beyond the globe's go-to landmarks to uncover undiscovered towns and coasts without crowds, leading wayfarers to extraordinary moments and the memories waiting for them. Today, the ripples Antonio's dream inspired are at the heart of everything we do. From one rowboat to 95 years of fulfilling travel dreams across the globe, the Globus family of brands continues to row toward awe and wonder. This is how we row. Feel the current.
So I love that. I think it just gives you a good synopsis of just how much of a breadth of product we have. So again, over 543 vacations across all three brands. We're on 6 continents, 71 countries, and this year at our 96-year mark. So a little bit about why choosing to tour. Obviously, you guys know you can go anywhere, even locally, and you could just see something. But without having that context of a guide, so during your time, you will have the same driver and tour director throughout the entire stay. And then your tour director will also be working with local guides to make sure you get all of those amazing experiences. So as I shared with you before, you know, the company's 100 years old, but we have amazing tour directors, and on the riverside, even cruise directors. Many of them have been with us for over 20 years. So as you can imagine, to do this and have that passion for making sure you have a great vacation experience, that makes all the difference. So they're much better storytellers than I am, I will say, for sure. So it's really great to have them giving you everything as far as the history. So a little bit about what makes Globus different is we have a lot of inclusions for you during your stay. So obviously you're going to have the coach, the coach, which has emergency restroom on board. There's a lot of stops along the way. They usually also have the port to charge your phone, so the USB, and then also Wi-Fi. So for Europe, the average size of the coach is about 44 guests, and there's usually a front entrance and a rear middle bus entrance and exit, so it makes it very easy for you guys to get on and off very quickly and get to what you need to do that day. So also, as far as the inclusions go, as you'll find, you know, once you're getting closer to your trip, so I'm actually leaving for the UK, but a slightly different tour in a few weeks. And what will happen is about 90 days before, you're going to get your day-by-day itinerary of everything that you'll be able to do. Most of what you're going to do is included. So on my tour, which is a 7-day long tour, I only have 2 optional excursions. So just to give you an idea, we are including a lot for you during this experience, so you won't feel nickel and dimed or anything at all. Also, when it comes to the hotels, we want to make sure you're in the heart of where all of the sightseeing is. So we actually have great relationship with the hotel and make sure, again, you're close to what you need to be. Number one, experts. So as I shared, those tour directors have been with us for double-digit years, so they really know what they're doing. And we also partner with a lot of these great local guides as well. One of the other things, especially since you're going for a special event, so even in day-to-day sightseeing on most of our tours, you're going to find, I always use Rome as an example. My first trip to Rome, I saw this huge line wrapping around the Vatican, and I'm like, what's that? And like, people are like, that's just the line to buy the tickets. Well, you might get a little glare because with us, you're always VIP'd and you're always skipped the line. So if there is an attraction, oftentimes there are special parking areas for the bus because you're part of the tour group in different events. So like in the tattoo, there's reserved seating for you guys. So there's just a lot of, you're gonna be walking by people who might be giving you a little side eye because you're sort of getting that VIP treatment. And again, that helps save you time and make the most of your vacation. When it comes to local favorites, so again, only because we have so many destinations across the world. In certain destinations, you're always going to have your tour guide, but in some destinations you have to be escorted by a local guide as well. There's an experience when we talk about our national parks, where one of the opportunities is you do like a Navajo cookout, so you actually have a Navajo guide. So that's what I mean by you actually may also have the local guide experiences as well. And then it's not go, go, go. So I don't know, I'm about to turn 50, so one of my favorite movies growing up was that vacation movie with Chevy Chase. I don't know if you guys know that one. And they did the European one too. And the one where they go to Europe is like, and like even the pace of the music and then go, 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 go. That's not what this is. You are still gonna have plenty of free time built into your, oh, thank you. Hello, is that any better? Hello? No, that's any better. Hello? Ooh, there you go. Is the cord long enough to put up on the table, or does it have to stay, I mean, this is just the box? There we go, thank you. Sorry about that. No, you're good. So as I was saying, oh, that's so much better. I am loud, but it helps to not have to yell. So you are going to have some free time to go ahead and explore the destinations. And as I mentioned before, you're going to have Wi-Fi included on the coach and also at your hotel as well. And then when we talk about free time, so probably about 90 days before your trip begins, which is what I just did for mine, you'll begin taking a look at the day by day, and then if there is one of those optional excursions included, you can work on selecting that if you'd like. You certainly don't have to. I will tell you, I think I took the slide out, but one of your nights here, you have an opportunity to do like the presenting of the haggis. So it's that's one of the optional excursions for your particular tour. Ah, perfect. So this is a little bit about what it's like to why you should tour instead of just going and see something. So I'm going to play another video.
Travel with us, you skip the lines.
So that gives you a great idea. Our coaches are absolutely beautiful. Most of them are about 3 years old. So we have several different styles of touring. Your tour is kind of a combination of a special event because it includes the military tattoo, but you're on our classic tour. So you're going to be moving at a little bit, I don't want to say faster pace, but some of our tours will do, you stay in one spot and they just do day trips. This to make sure you encompass more of the Scottish countryside. You're going to be continuing throughout, and I have a map. I think it might be on the flyer as well, but I have a map to kind of show you. So just so you know, something that you'll see with Travel Haus, obviously you have an amazing relationship with the team there, but once you return home from this vacation, you'll actually get a welcome back credit that you could use with Travel Haus on your next Globus, Cosmos, or Avalon vacation. So just so you know, we're so grateful for you to be a guest of ours. Our goal is to make sure we have happy clients who want to come back to us over and over again. So I can already tell you, not to spoil the surprise, but you will have a nice little welcome back present when you come home from the tour as well to travel again. So your tour, which I'm very jealous as I was doing some research for today, is the beautiful Bonnie, Scotland. So it's a 7-day trip that has 6 breakfasts and 3 group dinners included. And we're on a TV screen, so I don't know if it'll let me do this, but we're gonna try. Whoops. Yeah, it usually doesn't work. So you'll notice the green dot is Glasgow. That's gonna be your starting city. And then you will notice as you go around, you are going to have some boat experiences included because of the different areas that you're going to be traveling through. But anytime you see a circle with a number, that's how many nights you'll be in that destination. So on your arrival, you're going to have 2 nights in Glasgow. You're going to work your way up through Loch Lomond. You're going to continue on past Isle of Skye. You'll do 1 night in Inverness. You'll move over to Aberdeen for 1 night, and then you'll go through St. Andrews. My uncle would kill me if I didn't mention that. He's a hardcore golfer. He and his buddies went to actually see St. Andrews. And then you'll have your 2 nights in Edinburgh, and one of those nights will be the military tattoo experience. So it's a nice pace, or you kind of start with 2, end with 2, but then to make sure you kind of get to go up and around toward the Highlands, you'll have that stop in Inverness and Aberdeen. So of course, as we all know, you'll have your overnight flights to Europe, and then you're going to arrive in Glasgow. So one of your included dinners is your welcome group dinner, and that's where you're going to meet, obviously, everybody who is going with Travel Haus, but there may be some other passengers that are part of your group, so you'll meet your tour director, get to know them, and that will be your welcome dinner experience. So of course, my tip for jet lag is when you get there, you just want to keep moving, keep drinking your water. So make sure you kind of explore the city. Glasgow is a beautiful city to explore on foot. And then the next day, that's really where you're going to get more into the tour director going through, seeing some of the different sites, including there's a cathedral, and I'll show you, there's a couple slides that are coming up, and the excursion to Loch Lomond. So there's a couple lores and legends around this, so I'm not going to spoil anything, but it has to do with kind of light and dark when it comes to the stories of the loch. And of course, who would not want to have a chance to go to the distillery and taste the amazing Scotch whiskey? As you can imagine, I travel a lot for work. And because I'm originally from Philadelphia, I travel a lot on American Air. Well, it just so happens that on my last trip, so I don't know if it will still be in the rotation, but many airlines will do little documentaries that you can watch. And I actually watched a fascinating one about how there was a big resurgence in whiskey. So whiskey really was, the distilleries were closing, the towns were going bankrupt, and they actually brought in a French sommelier he's the one who kind of rebirthed all of the Scotch whiskey movement that's so popular now. So the movie is called The Water of Life. So it's one of those, I haven't looked for it to see if it's on Netflix or anything domestically, but make sure you're flipping through, and if you see Water for Life, make sure you watch it. It was really, really well done, and I learned a lot about, the towns and really what brought whiskey back, and that really saved so many of the people and has a big renaissance in what's happened with Scotland lately. So take advantage of that. I'm not a big drinker, so it's one of those I'll sniff it and sip it, but I just love the story behind it. And of course, I'm big into the food and beverage scene. Stirling Castle That's definitely a must-see site included for you guys. And then the Glasgow Cathedral, as I mentioned as well. So again, lots of time to explore. So you'll have a little bit of time on your own before dinner that first day. You'll have a full day of sightseeing with your tour guide on the second day before you continue on, moving over to Fort Williams, Glenfinnan, Isle of Skye, and Inverness. So I think, most people when they think of Scotland, they know Isle of Skye and then they know Inverness as well. Again, I'm kind of a big movie fan. So in this area is actually where they filmed one of the James Bond movies. So you'll have these beautiful scenery, and the one castle that you're going to see actually was the pretend headquarters of MI6 for James Bond. So that's a fun one. So Fort William is absolutely beautiful. And that's the beginning of really experiencing the beautiful scenery and nature that Scotland is so known for. And it's nice that you guys are going in the summertime. I forget exactly at what point, but you should definitely be on the lookout for the purple fields of heather that will continue to bloom. So, and then, if anybody is a Harry Potter fan, or anybody has friends or family who are Harry Potter fans, this train may look familiar to you. And that's one of the viaduct experience. That's one of the scenes that you see in the Harry Potter movie. There's actually somebody who took a video of that and actually put the Harry Potter soundtrack behind it. And then the Isle of Skye. So this is really where you start getting into the beautiful scenery. This is really where you're going to get into the folklore of things, because you're going to be approaching, and this is the castle that I was telling you about. This is the Elan Dunnan Castle. This is the headquarters for MI6 in the James Bond movie. So it's been used in a few other ones as well. And then of course Loch Ness. So this is, if you see Nessie, snap a picture, let me know, because I don't think I'll be able to join you for this particular one. But of course Loch Ness is most famous for people searching for Nessie, the amazing Loch Ness monster. And then Inverness, Cundall and Moor, and Tormatoun and Aberdeen. So Aberdeen again is where you're going to be spending your other night. But again, just kind of going to the movies, people don't realize how many battles have happened in Scottish history. So people always think of the Braveheart movie, and this is one of those bloody battlefields where about 1,200 who were rebelling lost their lives, and probably almost another 1,200 were injured as well. So again, I'm not making a very fancy story about it. That's where your tour directors and local guides will come in, but you'll be surprised at how much, not only just the castle history, but you're also, the border between the UK and Scotland actually has some Roman history into it as well. So you'll be surprised how much you're going to learn when your tour director and your local guides give you this little nuggets of history when it comes to Scotland. And then of course, you're moving over to Aberdeen, St. Andrews as you work your way back to Edinburgh. And then Scone Palace. So my English literature professor would be mad at me if I didn't mention this is sort of the inspiration for Macbeth. So again, these amazing storytelling and history that you're going to be experiencing while you're traveling through your trip here. So there's actually several things in here. I couldn't remember all of them, but the Macbeth is definitely one of the key things from Scone Palace. And then of course, St. Andrews Golf Course. So unfortunately, I don't think you guys have enough time to play, but they will stop, and they usually do a group photo on the famous bridge that you see here in the photo. So you can say you've been to St. Andrews, you can lie and tell them you had a perfect score and you had an amazing handicap. I will not tell on you. And then of course, Edinburgh, which is an amazing city. Actually, one of my friends, his parents, his dad used to travel here for business, and he always said, if I hit Powerball, I'm gonna retire in Edinburgh. He really loves the city, he loves the people. They would go at least once a year. So even if it wasn't a business trip, he and his family would definitely go back to Edinburgh. And this is really where I think you're going to have the most touches of the current royal family that we kind of have all known and maybe not necessarily loved, but you have the opportunity to see the Scottish crown jewels here. And of course the Royal Yacht Britannia, which has been, I think, the home to many a royal's honeymoon, if I remember correctly. And then Edinburgh Castle, and again, this is just an absolutely amazing scenery, and this is going to become the backdrop for your military tattoo experience as well. So the military tattoo is for most of the month of August, so because you guys are leaving the end of July, this is going to be an amazing finale to your trip. I was joking. I don't know what it is. Like, I was watching some of this year's footage because obviously it just ended for 2024. And it's very moving. Like, I'm not even Scottish at all, and I was crying watching this because it starts off as a lone bagpiper on top of the castle, and then everybody really joins in. And it's amazing because these troops don't necessarily work with each other and train with each other on a daily basis. I actually saw that there was a group from the Citadel here in the US that actually came out, and they actually had filmed their practice run with some of the other regiments that were participating in the military tattoo. They do beautiful fireworks, light show, and it's just an absolutely amazing experience. And I think, Lisa's smart. She picked the right date. You guys will get to experience this. So I really am so excited and a little bit jealous because I don't think I'll be able to join you for this particular trip. And then, of course, all good things come to an end. You'll be coming back to the USA, but you're going to have a lot of great stories to tell. And a lot of amazing memories and some friendships. I don't know how many of you know each other here, but I know the tour directors do a great job of kind of making sure, even on the bus, you're not sitting in the same seats every day. You kind of mix and mingle and get to meet everybody along the way. So, of course, you have the amazing driver, you have the tour director, you have the local guides, you've got Travel Haus helping you along the way. But something that we have developed, we also have an app. So I know some people have a love-hate relationship with apps, but I will tell you, it is a great way to kind of have the day-by-day in the palm of your hand. So the tour directors will usually do housekeeping, in the morning, in the afternoon, but this is a great way to have everything in the palm of your hand. And something that also a lot of people might worry about traveling internationally, we have actual GPS that's built into the app. So when you have your free time, you do not need to be on Wi-Fi, and you do not need to be on cellular. So probably about 2 to 3 weeks before your trip, you can put your booking number in. You'll be able to pull up, and then your app will sync with your itinerary. In your free time, the app also gives you suggestions for restaurants, for other entertainment as well. And again, if you wander out on your own, it'll actually know what hotel you're staying at, so you just go back to my hotel, and it will get you back there without having to be on Wi-Fi or cellular data. So I love that's a really nice touch. So we do that for all of our brands. So we have one for Globus, it's called the Globus Go app. We have one for Cosmos, and we have one for Avalon as well. So just know, no matter where you travel with us, we always want to make sure, even though you always have people supporting you along the way, you also have the app right there in the palm of your hand if you're traveling away from the group as well. So I think, last but not least, I have a little tearjerker of a video that I like, and then we'll talk about a little special offer for you guys for coming out today.
Mom and Dad, for as long as I can remember, our family vacations weren't much of a vacation for you at all. Really, they were just vacations for me. You fulfilling my wishes. Doing what I wanted to do. And going where I wanted to go. Along the way, you made sacrifices, putting your own travel dreams on hold. You did anything and everything to take care of my wildest desires. So, isn't it about time to let someone take care of yours? Well, I can attest better than anyone. It absolutely is. It's time you followed your whims. Check things off your list and let somebody else take the reins while you do it. It's time for you to see the world in fashion. The best of the best and none of the hassles. Because we all know you've earned it. Today is the day that your time begins.
So I love that because I know I come from a family where mom and dad always did everything for me, and anytime I try to convince them to do something that they'll really enjoy, I think they feel very guilty even though they've done more above and beyond taking care of me and my family. So definitely make sure you live your travel dream. So as I shared with you before, I like to say travel globally, but buy locally. The team here at Travel Haus has worked with us so that anybody who's attending today's presentation can get $100 off per person when you deposit with Lisa and the team by the, I think it's the 14th, correct? So more or less 2 weeks from today, because we want to make sure you guys get situated, especially since the military tattoo is something that people really, really want to do. So the way our company will work is, you know, Lisa is holding some space with us, but if there is a lot of demand to come on the tour, if she has not put your name down on the deposit, we could say to Lisa, say, hey, just so you know, in the next couple of weeks, we may need some of the space back that you were holding. So only because there's only a few departure dates for this tour that will make sure people get the experience of the military tattoo. I just want to make sure you guys know that's one of the reasons we wanted to make sure that you work with Lisa to go ahead and get yourself your name and your passport information all in the system so that you're booked, you're deposited, and you're guaranteed to go with the group. So that's kind of all I had. I know it was a little quick. The team here warned me, I guess, come 3 o'clock, their phone's going to ring off the hook for some of the local bus trips they do, so I didn't want to talk. I didn't mean to talk that fast, but I also didn't want to be like 3 o'clock and have the phones ringing in the background and we couldn't hear your questions. So I'll let Lisa come up and...
Thanks, Leanne.
Oh.
Tell us I'm not going to.
You're
I've been
not?
no,
Oh,
I've been
my
to
God.
Scotland and it's one of my favorite places. There's just something about it. So any questions about the trip? No?
Yes, what are the things that are not included in the price that's quoted?
So basically, the meals that are not included, so it's lunches every day and 3 dinners. Gratuities to your driver and guide, and if there is a local one that steps on. And any optional excursions, there might be a couple during the trip that'll
I
be
think
released.
honestly, I looked at it, I think there's just the one if you want to do the official dinner with the haggis.
Yeah, they aren't released until much closer to the trip, about 90 days out.
Yeah.
So everything else after that is personal expenses. We have the bus from this area that goes to the airport. We're on nonstop flights out of Philadelphia round trip. We are going to fly into Edinburgh, and I will be figuring out how to get you transferred to Glasgow. So I will work on that, and that's all included. And then you'll start the tour with Globus, and then basically flight home. Globus will drop you off at the airport on the last day. Flight home, bus back to this area. We generally use Franconia Heritage Restaurant, and you're free to leave your cars there at your own risk if you choose to.
How about travel insurance?
That is additional.
Yeah, I know, but
Yeah,
how much?
I don't remember the cost, so if you're interested in the trip, basically, give a call to the office and I can either give you the cost or we actually need you to fill out a mandatory booking form, which we can send a link to, and the cost for the insurance will be on there. The insurance is cancellation for medical reasons only.
Yes.
Okay. Any other questions? You guys are an easy group. Normally there's a bunch of questions.
Lisa,
Yeah.
how long do we have to decide to commit?
So as Andy said, they will only let me hold a limited space because these are very popular departures. So right now I still have, I think I have like 5 people signed up with the soft opening, and I have 16 spaces. So I actually wouldn't wait. I can always get more with them based on availability. And then there is a drop dead date. I forget when it is. It might be actually might have put on the flyer, after which it goes to request only because Globus won't let me
Yeah.
hold space after that date. Let's see here. I don't know if I had her put that on here, but if you call the office, I can tell you. Yeah, so there is a day at a certain point where Globus won't let us hold space anymore. It's first come, first serve.
Is there a maximum number of people that are allowed on this trip?
With Globus, it's about 44.
Yeah, 44, yeah, 44. So if you take a look at the actual size of the coach and how many seats are on it, the average tour is usually 44 guests. We do have, not for this trip, we do have other styles of touring, like if someone does an African safari where those trips are limited to 15 to 18 because of the size of the safari vehicles. So the bus will fit 44, but once you get to the safari, it won't. But for this particular trip, it's gonna be 44.
Yes.
Is most of the time spent on the bus, driving from, or are we going to be getting off and experiencing things as we go
Yes, so let me go
along?
back, and I know it's hard to see, but I'm gonna go back to one of the earlier slides because you will actually see, so any of the solid dots. So the solid dot, which is green, you have 2 nights in Glasgow. You'll be stopping in Fort William to get off the bus to see Fort William. You'll get off in Glenfinnan, which I want to say might be where the rail is, if I'm thinking correctly. You'll take the ferry over to Armandale. So again, anything with an open circle is an actual stop where you're going to be getting out and doing the included experiences. Then you have the solid 1 by Inverness. So that's again where you will spend the evening there for one night. You'll stop in Culloden and Tomtool along the way. You'll stop in Aberdeen for the one night. You'll head down to Scone Palace to stop there. You'll stop at St. Andrews. Then you'll take a look and do the 2 nights in Edinburgh. Now, Lisa has a system where she could go, and for most of our itineraries, they will tell you how many miles or kilometers you're actually on the bus in between some of the major stops. But they usually, want to make sure that you kind of keep going and actually getting off to see something. So it's not just drive by.
Yeah, they're very conscious of that. They won't go more than a certain amount of time without making a stop.
Yeah, and they even if we're not stopping to stop and see things, there's stops along the way
Well,
for.
yeah, I wasn't talking about just stopping,
Yeah.
stopping, just get off the bus and experience where
Correct.
we are.
Correct. So that anything that has that open circle is where you'll have those more longer stop experiences where you have time to explore. Yes.
Okay.
So it's a good mix. It's a good mix. Because like I said, I think of that scene in National Lampoon's European Vacation where it's like literally go, go, go. It's not like that. You have the stops, and again, that's where the app comes in handy. You can of course talk to the tour director. They'll point you in the direction of shops, restaurants, entertainment, but the app also has that information too because they know you'll have some free time.
Any other questions? Okay. Well, Andy, thank you. And don't forget the 100 per person discount. She's one of the few suppliers that will do it for us if you deposit by October 14th. So.
I just know how popular this is, so I know that we're gonna come knocking and be like, hey, Lisa, you held 16 seats, but we have someone else that has, that wants them, so.
Yeah, and they can take my space back anytime
Yeah.
if they have a demand for it. We just had that happen with Canadian Rockies.
Yeah, so some of the tours are really, really popular, so, but it's a great experience, and I love the fact that you guys are gonna get to experience the military tattoo, because this tour runs for most of the year, and obviously only go Phils.
How much is the initial deposit to get the $100?
It is $450 per person.
Okay.
One more question. Right now, I'm looking for somebody to travel with. So if I book, should I book as a single and then
If
possibly?
you're definitely going to book as a single, then
Okay.
we'll try and move it because singles are more limited than the
Okay.
doubles
Yeah.
are. Okay, well, we're gonna hang around because Andy's gotta clean up and Sarah and I are gonna hang around for a little bit. If anybody has any questions still, let us know. Or
We saw the tattoo
Thank
in
you.
Virginia this year.
Did you? How was it?
Wow.
Excellent.
Yeah.
And they're world famous. That's what Edinburgh is known for. It's known for their tattoo.
And the James Bond movie, if you want to get in the mood, it's Skyfall. That's the Skyfall one is the James Bond one that was filmed. And then a fun romantic comedy one. So if you ever were a fan of Grey's Anatomy, you know, Patrick Dempsey, Dr. McDreamy with the dark hair. He was in a movie about a girl who wants to marry a Scottish duke, and it's called Maid of Honor. That's a fun one. And some of the places you're gonna visit are some of the filming locations. So if you really wanna get in the mood, and also the Highland cows, if you haven't seen them, they're absolutely adorable. They remind me of like my nephew's at the age where, you know, he's at the age where he's like putting the hair in his face. You know, I was like, you have such a cute face. You know the phase that the teenage boys go through. He's in that phase, so I think the Highland cows kind of remind me of a bunch of teenage boys running around with them. But they're so cute and playful. Like, I really love them. So when you get up that way, but I think it's, you know, the scenery, the history, that amazing experience. That's really going to be your grand finale. Your last night is going to be the tattoo. So, you know, you're literally going to go out with the bang of the fireworks.
Well, thanks, Sandy.
It's my pleasure. Thank you guys for having me.
Thank you, everybody, for coming. Okay.